The British Museum is perhaps England's most unlikely monument to the National Lottery. 2 centuries ago, the public loved a flutter, and the government knew it. So in 1755, when £300,000 were needed to prepare the original building on this site for the museum's collection, a lottery was the method used. But some MPs thought the public's love of lotteries bordered on addiction, and in 1808 a parliamentary committee recommended their abolition.
By the effects of the lottery, even under its present restrictions, idleness, dissipation and poverty are increased. The most sacred and confidential trusts are betrayed. Domestic comfort is destroyed. Madness often created. Crimes subjecting the perpetrators of them to death are often committed, and even suicide itself is produced.
The number was up for lotteries, and in 1826 they were finally abolished. There have been no lotteries since, although in 1956 Harold Macmillan's government tested the waters with the computer-run premium bond scheme. Harold Wilson gave that short shrift, condemning it as a squalid raffle, a view still shared by many Protestants today.
For the government now to bring in a national lottery, I think would open us to all sorts of risks. The evidence from Ireland is that the very poorest tend to spend more on gambling when there's a national lottery. That out of their very little, perhaps because this is their one hope of getting something approaching wealth, they spend more proportionately and have less available for food and clothes.
The lure of the lottery is strong. In Ireland this week, 2 people have won the jackpot. Nearly 2/3 of the adult population buy tickets regularly, raising £157 million for the arts and sport over the last 4 years. That's why there's now enthusiastic support in Britain for the idea of a national lottery.
And here it comes now.
The grant system has really only addressed revenue funding over the last 10-15 years, and the capital side of things, the infrastructure, has been completely left to decay, and decayed it is. Everybody agrees that. The chairman of the Arts Council agrees it, the Arts Minister agrees it. If we can possibly do this and create things like a dance house for London at the Lyceum, that would be an asset, great assets for the nation to start the next century on possibly the greatest sort of footing since the beginning of this century.
Public interest in a national lottery seems strong. A recent survey said that 50% of those polled would buy tickets if the proceeds went to the arts, sport and heritage. Not that we need much encouragement, the British are inveterate gamblers. We already spend £13 billion a year on gambling. Backbenchers in Parliament know all about lotteries. Ivan Lawrence won the latest one to get a reading for his lottery bill. It proposes a national scheme which could raise £600 million a year for the arts, sport and heritage. MPs have a free vote on it next Friday. The fiercest opponents of Mr Lawrence's bill are the pools companies. With their long association with football, the pools and Spot the Ball turn over £930 million a year. And they offer big prizes too.
And the amount is an incredible £2 million.
The pools companies claim that a national lottery will destroy their business, cutting at a stroke the £446 million they pay in government taxes and donations to the arts and sport.
We're leaving for Sark immediately.
The spending in the UK on gambling per head of population is at probably the highest level in the world. As a result of that, I'm convinced that for some other gambling enterprise, e.g. a national lottery, to succeed, it could only do so at the expense of the existing gambling spend in the UK, i.e. it's simply transferring money from one pocket to the other.
Revenue from all kinds of gambling has already doubled since the Tories came to power. It's easy money for the government. So if the bill fails next week, the Conservatives may include it in their manifesto. As a voluntary tax, as well as a bit of fun, they may well feel it's a very safe bet with the electors.
We leave you now with the numbers as they would appear on a winning line. So until Saturday, bye-bye.